First things first, we're gonna take a couple of zucchinis and cut the ends off, slice them in half, and scoop out the middle. So it's the end of summer, but zucchini is really available all the time. I feel like they've really had their moment in the limelight this year. Everyone's actually really digging the zucchini this summer. I'm just going to drizzle a little bit of olive oil over them on a baking sheet, just a little bit, and a pinch of salt, because zucchini doesn't taste like much. It kind of needs a bit of extra help. And then I'm just going to kind of rub the oil on them. This is just so they get a little bit brown. And I have the oven cranked already to 450 degrees. That's pretty hot, but it really needs it. So these should take about 20 minutes or so in that ripping hot oven. And they're just gonna be nice and kind of soft and tender when they come out. So while the zucchini is cooking, we're going to make the filling, which is kind of the fun part. So, guess I shouldn't have put my olive oil away. So a little bit more olive oil in the pan. You can use any oil you want. And I have a pretty wide stainless steel pan here. You just need something that is wide enough to fit all the mixture. So I'm just pushing the zucchini to the side. We'll use that in a bit. And I'm gonna chop up one onion. I'm just gonna dice a whole onion. This one's pretty big. It doesn't have to be this big, but I like onions, so it's fine. Actually, is this too big? Yeah, you know what? This onion's really big, so I'm just gonna use half of it. And if you haven't already caught on, using one of these bench scrapers is so good for when you have to scoop a lot of chopped ingredients. If you're making soups and stuff, it just makes the transfer a lot easier. So half of a large onion or one small onion going in. Oops. And more salt. This is on like medium, say medium heat. We don't really want to get browning. We want them to kind of sweat and soften. While that's happening, I'm going to chop up the zucchini innards, I guess, for lack of a better word. And this is just rough. It's pretty much gonna melt away, like you won't even detect it in the end. So once the onions are a little bit softened, I'm gonna throw in, I have about 450 grams or 1 pound if you're in the States of ground turkey. So this is lean turkey thigh, which I feel pretty fortunate that my store has lean or like extra lean turkey thigh, because I love dark meat. I love the flavor of dark meat. But sometimes when you buy ground turkey thigh, it's just super fatty, and then you end up having to throw out all kinds of grease. So this just makes it easier. It's flavorful and it's not too fatty. So I just put that in with the onions. And I'm just breaking it up. And if you want to use my favorite technique for breaking up meat or sausage in a pan is using a potato masher, because it just does a really good job. And this you can cook till it's pretty brown if you want, or you can just, if you're in a hurry, you can just cook it till it's cooked. I'm kind of in a hurry because, you know, we're making a video here and I don't really want it to take all day. And also it actually is after work on a Monday evening right now. So I'm tired and hungry and ready to eat. That's usually how I feel on weekend nights. So it doesn't need to be a big production. We're just making a nice little bit of tasty food here. So this should take like, I don't know, 5 minutes or something. Oops. Maybe I'll pour myself a drink. Should I make a quick Negroni on the spot? So it's equal parts red vermouth, sweet vermouth, which is here. And yeah, I'm just making it on the same cutting board I just chopped the onions on. This is like real world cocktail making. I do have a shaker. I didn't feel like getting it out. So I'm doing 2 ounces of red vermouth, 2 ounces of gin. Beefeater is the best cheap gin, like any old time, you know, if you want some decent gin, it's Beefeater, that's the one. You don't have to break the bank. And then 2 ounces of Campari, which is really bitter and pretty delicious. This is also supposed to have orange in it. I don't have an orange right now, but I do have a lime. Maybe rub the edges. That's how I see the bartenders do it. And then give it a little stir. So if this was made in a shaker, it would get kind of lighter in color because of the air that you work into it, but I'm pretty happy with that. Whew. Okay, so while that's been happening, I've been almost burning my turkey here, but not quite. All we have going on is a little bit of a brown bits situation, which is not a bad thing at all. Nice little brown bits add some flavor to the whole thing. So, and this has like, there's still some bits of pink turkey left here. Is it good? So it's not quite cooked through, but it's gonna have lots of opportunity to cook through properly. So I'm actually pretty happy with this as it is. So next up, I'm gonna add the zucchini bits back in. This is adding so much bulk. Like you won't notice it, but it's just, this actually is a really cheap dinner. So the amount of filling that I'm making is gonna be more than what I need to fill the zucchinis. But that's perfect because this mixture is so delicious as a salad topper. Just pack it with your lunch. Next up, I'm going to add 1 tin of black beans. This worked out to, I think, 350 grams. This is what makes this dinner extra cheap because I'm using the ground turkey, which is kind of expensive, but bulking it up with black beans and zucchini is just like making it stretch so much. And then next thing is some spices. So I'm going to add in a teaspoon of cumin, ground cumin. You know, the people on TV will tell you have to buy whole spices and toast them and grind them yourself. I'm telling you that that's a really good way to go, but buying ground cumin in small batches and using it quickly is also pretty good, and it's really easy. So I just added a teaspoon of oregano, dried oregano. I crushed that in my fingers, and then I'm going to do 2 teaspoons of ancho chili powder. And because I didn't add garlic, because I didn't have garlic, I'm going to add also a teaspoon of garlic powder. And all of these are getting some good exposure to the bottom of the pan, so that's going to kind of toast them a little bit and bring out some of their flavor. I'm adding a whole can of tomato paste into the mix. So tomato paste is in, and then the last bit is about 150 grams or one cob of corn, fresh corn. You can also use frozen. I wouldn't recommend canned because it's really sugary. And that's pretty much it. So for now, I'm just gonna put the lid on and let it cook for like 5 minutes or so. Meanwhile, the zucchinis are happening in the oven already, and this is happening, so I can just tidy up and have another sip of my drink. You know, when I set out to do this cooking show, the whole plan was not to do recipes. It was just to be like how to make dinner, you know? Just like how to take a bunch of things and make a good dinner out of it. But we're doing recipes because apparently that's what people search for. So I can't get, like, nobody will watch my YouTube channel if I'm like, hey, here's how to dig through the fridge. Or maybe they will. Maybe would you watch that? Actually, maybe let me know. If you look into your pan and you see that it's a little bit dry, maybe there's not a lot of juice coming out of the turkey or whatever, you can put a little bit of water in, which will help just kind of bring it all together. You want it to be, you definitely don't want it to be dry. You don't want it to be soupy, but you want it to be, you know, moist. I like that word. Okay. The lid's going on. We're waiting for 5 minutes. We're cleaning up. Okay, so it's been about 20 minutes and I'm gonna get the zooks out of the oven. Okay, so these are pretty good. They're like, oh yeah, nice and wobbly. They're not brown. If I wanted them brown properly, I could have put them face down on the baking sheet. They would have gotten some browning, but I don't really care, to be honest. Turning this guy off. And I'm just gonna taste this mixture. Make sure it's doing everything we want it to do. It's like, looks really good. I'm gonna add a big pinch more salt because apparently that first teaspoon wasn't enough. And 100% optional, but not in my world. The Frank's Red Hot. Any hot sauce. I'm a junkie for this stuff. I'm gonna put some in. If I had a kid that I was feeding, I would skip this part and I would just leave it for on top. But I'm gonna put it in and I'm gonna put it on top. And I'm gonna be pretty excited about it. So, stir that up. It should be salty enough now, I'm pretty confident. And then we're just gonna stuff these puppies. And as you can see, there's like quite a bit of mixture here. But this is dinner, this is like dinner and lunches all week, as far as I can tell. You can cook it with some rice, make a salad like I said earlier. Geez, I'm like a broken record, hey? Make a salad. You know what you could also do? You can make a salad. It'd be great. Okay, so I'm gonna scoop this onto my boats. Am I gonna use my fancy scoop? I think I will. This is being silly, you really don't have to use this thing. But I think it'll help with my aim. See? But if you don't have one of these, super don't worry about it. Just use a normal spoon like a normal person. I just really like my portion scoop. If I would marry it, if I could marry it, I would. I wonder if you can do that. Just kidding. I would marry my scale though, digital scale. I would marry that. Let's see if the wooden spoon works better. I'm left-handed, so this is kind of one of those awkward procedures. Oh, just use a wooden spoon. It's so much better. You can really just aim it right in. So I'm excited to have 2 of these all to myself. I don't know how much she liked to eat, but this is the right amount for me. So I've got this cheese. It's a sharp ched, really nice aged cheddar. It's wrapped in paper towel because I brought it camping and the water in the cooler made it all watery, so I dried it off. It's real talk here on how to make dinner today. I'm gonna grate it. I'm just gonna grate it over top. I don't know a lot of people who don't like cheese. I certainly love it. This is so aged that it's like falling apart because it's so dry and crumbly. Oh, look at that. Okay, now because the mixture is hot and the zucchinis are already cooked, we can just pop it under the broiler and then just make the cheese melty and bubbly. The broiler's on at 475, so it shouldn't take long. 3 minutes, 5 minutes, something like that. In the meantime, I'm going to cut up, oh my goodness, that's a juicy one. I'm gonna cut up some lime wedges, which in my world is like quarters because I love lime so much. I'm also gonna hack up some cherry tomatoes. Look at all the cherry tomatoes we got out of the garden yesterday. This is like the most worthwhile crop, I think, and at least where we live. It's such a good one. You get such a good yield. Okay, and then I love cilantro. If you don't love cilantro, you don't have to use it. But I would recommend you top these boats with something green. So be it a green onion perhaps, bit of parsley, some chives. That's it. No other. I know people used to say like top it with whatever herbs you want. I don't think so. I wouldn't put like basil on top of this. Just doesn't make sense. Look at this scooper. Everything's so organized. There's nothing left to do. Oh yeah. They're bubbly and the cheese is melted and they look great. So I'm gonna put them on some plates. I'm gonna take a scoopy thing and I'm just gonna transfer them onto our little plates here. It's a little bit hot. Can I do two at once? Yep, I can. Bit of that, bit of that, bit of cilantro. I want to sprinkle it so that I can still see the zouk boats, though I don't want to totally cover it. And some cherry tomatoes. And pop a lime wedge on each one. That's a good dinner, isn't it? So this is my plate. I'm just gonna have a quick bite, make sure it's decent before I serve it to my loved one. Super juicy zucchini. It's so nice when you roast it ahead of time. I feel like a lot of people don't do that. They just roast it with all the filling in, but roasting ahead makes it super juicy and it means that it's cooked just right. So yeah, make this. It's perfect for back to school, perfect fall dinner, perfect for like so many diets too, actually, except vegetarianism. And it's perfect for no diet. So that's it for today. Thanks so much for joining me. It means a whole lot that you watch these videos. And if you liked it, I'd love it if you'd subscribe and join me every Wednesday where we make something else good.